Sa araw na ito, hindi po muna tayo nag-iimbita ng ibang resource person at nang mabigyan natin ng sapat na oras ang lahat ng mga katanungan sa mga pinatawag natin ng mga officials ng OBP. At magkaroon din sila ng sapat na oras para sumagot sa ating mga katanungan. Maraming salamat po. We will now proceed to the...
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
May I be
Congressman
recognized,
Jill.
Mr. Chair?
Recognize.
Before we proceed with our deliberation, may I just raise this concern, Mr. Chair? On our agenda for today, item number 3, number 2, which refers to the motu proprio inquiry or inquiry on the manifestation of Representative Jervil Jinky Beatrix Luistro was made on September 10, 2024. And I am certain, Mr. Chair, that this is a result of a typographical or clerical error which was indicated in today's agenda. Given that, Mr. Chair, may I ask that the agenda be amended to correct this typographical or clerical error and reflect the actual and true date in accordance with Section 106 of the Rules of Procedure of the 19th Congress, which states, when any matter is under consideration, a motion to amend and a further motion to amend the amendatory motion shall be in order. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried.
Again, Mr. Chair, in addition, considering that there's this clerical error in relation to this agenda, I move that my motion be extended to all agenda and or transcript of proceedings for these proceedings of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. In particular, Mr. Chair, I move that the committee secretary review the agenda and transcript of proceedings dated September 18, September 25, October 17, and November 5. To be precise, Mr. Chair, I am asking that any reference to the date of Congressman Luistro's manifestation subject of the motu proprio inquiry be reflected as having been made on September 2, 2024, the actual date of the Committee on Appropriations budget deliberation, and not September 10, 2024, or any other date. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Is there any second to the motion?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Any other concerns? Meron pa po ba? There's none. We will now proceed to the next item in the agenda. We will now proceed to the interpolation proper. The first to interpolate is Congressman Ramon Rodriguez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'd like to direct my first questions po at least. First and foremost, we'd like to express our gratitude for our resource persons who have attended here. I know for the most part of our hearing, we've been discussing about the attendance of the other resource persons, and I hope on the next hearing we can do the same. Na nandito po sila. But in the meantime, I think we would like, siguro I will start, Mr. Chair, to direct my questions to Ms. Julieta Villa del Rey. Good morning po. Mr. Chair, if I may proceed.
Yes, please proceed.
Mr. Chair, before other matters po, no, on what we have in agenda, just some preliminary matters on, I believe you have submitted, Mr. Chair, some statements together with Attorney Sanchez to this committee. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Good morning, Your
Attorney
Honor.
Julieta,
Yes,
you
Your
are recognized.
I submitted
Yes.
a statement po.
Thank you. I'd like to focus on some procedural matters po
Ma'am,
muna on that statement.
pakilakasan po ninyo at ilapit po ninyo yung mic para marinig po kayo.
Yes.
Thank you po.
Good morning, Your Honors. It may be allowed to read my statement.
Mr. Chair, in the interest of time, I think we've had this in advance and we were able to read it. And I think we're aware if we may proceed with the questioning, unless the committee members would like to hear the statement. Parang hindi naman po.
Yung statement po bang babasahin ninyo, yun din po yung sinubmit ninyo sa amin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, nabasa na po namin lahat yon. So, we will proceed to the interpellation. Yes, please
Thank you.
continue,
So just,
Congressman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Villa Del Rey po, no? Just working on the statement po, no? May I just like to ask, how do you know po si Attorney Abella?
Attorney,
Abella po.
he is our counsel, Your Honor.
He's your counsel?
Abelia.
Attorney Abella?
I don't know Attorney Abelia, sir.
You don't know an Attorney Abella, Attorney Rochelle Abella.
No, sir.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, may we ask you, Attorney Sanchez, do you know a Mr. Attorney Abella?
Your Honor, yes, Mr. Chair. Attorney Abella is one of the staff in the Office of the Vice President.
Oh, one of the staff in the Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Back to Ms. Villa Del Rey. Is that more familiar now to you po?
Hindi po ako masyadong familiar sa lahat ng employees of the Office of the Vice President.
Ms. Sanchez, I hope you don't mind, Mr. Chair. I know it's unorthodox, but I'd like to, because of the point I'm driving at, I'd like to toss in between the two resource persons. One, I'll just go quickly between them.
Please continue.
Attorney Sanchez, through the chair, most respectfully. Si Attorney Abella, you've known Attorney Abella for quite some time.
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. She joined the OVP, I think, sometime this year, if I am correct, Your Honor.
Can you describe how she looks po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Abella is fairly tall and slim.
Okay. Are there a lot of attorneys in the Office of the OVP?
Currently, Your Honor, there are only around 4 attorneys under the Legal Affairs Division. But there are other lawyers in the Office of the Vice President performing other functions, Your Honor.
Would you consider Attorney Abella a fairly prominent lawyer in the OVP? Is she all over the place po ba? Or?
No, Your Honor. Attorney Abella does not report daily at the Office of the Vice President. Her tasks, from what I know, because I am not the head of the Legal Affairs Division, are mainly on execution of non-disclosure agreements and other documents and contracts for the Office of the Vice President, Your Honor.
Okay, so si Attorney Abella is mostly tasked with preparation of NDAs and you mentioned, sorry, can you repeat it for us, please?
Contracts
Contracts.
and other documents, Your Honor.
Is she also tasked with preparing statements for
I'm not
the
aware,
OVP?
Your Honor.
Not aware. But she, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Attorney Abella is a person who, although is not on site, would sometimes be on site.
Most of the days, I think, in the week, she is on site, Your Honor.
And her office is her outside, her external office. Would you know kung saan po ito?
No, Your Honor.
No. So just the internal office. And
Yes,
all
Your
of
Honor.
your interactions with Attorney Abella have been inside the office of the OVP.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've never interacted with Attorney Abella outside the OVP.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like to return my question po to Ms. Villa Del Rey. After the description po, no?
Attorney Roch, I will just like to interject
Of
in line
course.
with your line of questioning. Saan po ba yung official office po ni OVP?
Mr. Chair, the official office of the OVP is at the 11th floor, Robinson Cybergate Plaza, Mandaluyong City. Your Honor.
Mandaluyong.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Villa Del Rey, so after the descriptions, given the job description and actual physical description and office description of Ms. Abella, hindi pa rin po familiar po sa inyo?
I remember now, Your Honor, si Attorney Abelia po is once pumunta sa office.
Once
accounting.
pumunta sa office. In any instance, did you go to her office?
No, sir. She went to my office.
To your office. What was the concern po kung why she went to your office?
Ang natatandaan ko lang po naging interaction niya sa akin is kinumusta niya ako.
Nothing official? Has she not done anything, preparation of any documents of any kind for you, Ms. Villa Del Rey?
None, sir.
Congressman Roch, for a while. Saan po yung office ninyo?
Same office po, Cybergate Plaza, Mandaluyong.
So, doon din po. So, doon din po yung office ni Attorney Abella. Tama din po. As staff of the OVP. Tama po ba? Attorney Sanchez, tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Please continue, Congressman Rog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, Ms. Villa Del Rey, you've confirmed the once po you've interacted with Attorney Abella. Si Attorney Sanchez po, through the Honorable Chairman, have you had any recent interactions with Attorney Abella?
Your Honor, from time to time, Your Honor, regarding work.
More
Your Honor.
specifically, do you recall having an interaction with Attorney Abella last November 9?
Your Honor, through phone conversation, Your Honor, she asked me to send a copy of my ID, Your Honor.
Copy of your ID. Would you know the
Yes.
purpose of the copy of the ID?
I think, Your Honor, it is for her to notarize a statement that I executed, Your Honor.
And you did not have an interaction with her aside from the phone call?
Phone call only, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Ms. Villa Del Rey, do you recall a similar interaction with Attorney Abella noong November 9 po?
November 9, Your Honor, yes. When she asked to also send a copy of my ID.
Okay. And you are aware of the purpose also was to notarize po? Is it the same purpose as Attorney Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor, to notarize po itong statement.
Can you clarify po for us, this statement, this is of your own volition, tama po ba?
Tama po.
And you
Your Honor.
prepared this yourself?
Tama po.
And you sent this to Attorney Abella?
Your Honor.
Pinadala mo po ito kay Attorney Abella?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you did not appear personally to have it notarized?
Pinadala ko po ito sa Office of the Legal Affairs.
Pinadala sa Office of Legal Affairs. And they did not ask for your physical presence for the signing of the document?
No, Your Honor.
No.
Another clarification. Where were you when you received a phone call from Attorney Abella? You were in your office?
I was in my office, Your Honor,
In
in Mandaluyong.
in
City,
Mandaluyong.
Your Honor.
How about you, Ma'am Villa Del Rey? Where were you?
Also in Mandaluyong, Your Honor.
Okay. In both dates, in both instances, November 9, you were both in Mandaluyong. Tama po ba? And that was the time when you received phone call from Attorney Abella. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, may I just correct? It was through the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division, Your Honor.
Ano po?
It was through the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division. She was on the phone with Attorney Abella, and she relayed the message. But I was with her at that time, Your Honor.
You were with
The Chief of the Legal Affairs Division.
Chief
Your
of the
Honor.
Legal Affairs
In Mandaluyong.
in Mandaluyong. How
Yes,
about
Your
you,
Honor.
ma'am?
Same.
Same.
Same po.
In Mandaluyong din.
In Mandaluyong also,
Okay, thank
sir.
you po. Please continue, Congressman Rog.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So proceeding from that, Attorney Sanchez, would you say you had the same instance, the same procedure for the notarization of your document? So you prepared the statement, you signed it, tapos pinadala na lang po.
Your Honor, I signed it at the time that, in front of the Chief of the Legal Affairs Division, Your Honor. I handed it over, Your Honor.
Okay, you signed it in front of the Chief of the Legal Affairs
Yes, Your
Division.
Honor.
Was Attorney Abella present?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd just like to have that procedural fact noted by the committee. Actually, I might be mistaken, but from my understanding, based on notarial rules, the affiant should actually sign the document in front of the notary. So it's just concerning po na they have that procedure in which they prepared the statement, they signed it, then pinadala na lang po. In fact, they admitted to the fact that the ID was just asked over the phone for the point of the notary. But to clarify po for the committee, this is not, unfortunately, this has become a practice sometimes for notarial services, and sometimes it's overlooked. However, what's important to stress and to bear in relation to the proceedings here is that Attorney Abella is not only notarizing a regular statement. This is a statement before this House. And aside from that, Attorney Abella's signature, Attorney Abella's notarization actually appears in other significant documents. I'm not sure if Attorney Sanchez would be aware, being Chief of Admin po ba and Finance. And I'm not sure if Ms. Villa Del Rey is aware also, being Chief of Accountant. But Attorney Abella's notarial stamp, notarial imprimatur, appears not only in their statements which they have prepared, but as actually appeared in, I believe, the liquidation reports po ng OVP confidential funds. So it brings a question, kung magkakaroon po, the whole purpose of the notarial procedure is to verify as officers of the court to allow persons to execute statements under oath in a way. So the purpose of this is to preserve the integrity of the statements made. Now, if there's an issue regarding the procedural, if there are procedural lapses in the notarial services, then it puts into light the veracity, authenticity, and acceptability, admissibility of these documents. So what's stressing for me is that this isn't just only for the statements, which, don't get me wrong, Mr. Chair, this is important for us today because the statements that they'll be presenting is their official testimony to our questions here today, of course. But more importantly, the fact that the same attorney Abella is the lawyer who notarized the OVP confidential fund certification, the Deped. Sorry, Mr. Chair, Attorney Abella is in the office of the OVP. Tama po ba, Attorney Sanchez? May we clarify, since you're more familiar with Attorney Abella.
Attorney Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she have a stint in the Department of Education?
I am not aware, Your Honor.
It's not your personal knowledge, but that's something for us to consider kasi nga po, her signature appears as the notarial, as the notary for the OVP confidential funds and the DepEd confidential fund certification, aside from the statements presented today. So I'm not sure, perhaps at the proper time, with the proper motion, should this committee deem wise, we might want to invite si Attorney Abella. Although this is not usual practice, I understand that in the courts, usually they would frown upon the act of having to present a notary as a witness. But given the fact that, for example, we can't even get the 9 OVP officials present, perhaps we can invite Attorney Abella, not only for her notarial stamp on the statements of Ms. Villa Del Rey and Attorney Sanchez, but also on the OVP confidential funds and DepEd confidential funds. This is just
Comsec, please take note of the manifestation of Congressman Gutierrez.
a procedural concern. But with that out of the way, Mr. Chair, I'd like now to proceed with some preliminary questions for Ms. Villa Del Rey. So,
Please
Mr. Chair, Ms. Villa Del Rey, kayo po yung Chief Accountant ng Office of the Vice President.
Yes, Your Honor.
How long na po kayo sa OVP?
Your Honor, I've been in the OVP since 1990. During the last year of VP Laurel.
VP Laurel pa po. So you are a career public servant.
Yes, Your Honor.
So from 1990, that would put you now at 34 years of service po. And in your 34 years of service, may you just quickly give us a rundown? Kailan po kayo naging Chief Accountant?
I was employed in the OVP in 1990. I became an OIC, I cannot recall, but I appointed Chief Accountant in 1998.
That's a quick rise po, no? From 1990 to 1998, kayo po yung naging Chief Accountant. So you have been the Chief Accountant for the OVP for how many administrations now po?
For at least 7 po, 7 vice presidents.
And as the Chief Accountant, you are in charge of the accounting division, is that correct?
Tama po, Your Honor.
And part of your duties would include reviewing and processing the disbursements and liquidations of the OVP.
Tama po.
Before anything, I'd like to commend you for your long tenure of service. Maraming salamat po. Given that you're 6 administrations in, I'm pretty sure you are adept and an expert in your field. Given that you are, well experienced in your field, I'm sure you're familiar with yung tinatawag na government accounting manual. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you run down for the committee ano po yung requirements ng government accounting manual in relation to cash advances?
For the cash advances under the regular, Your Honor, there should be fund or allotment to cover the issuance of cash advance. There should be cash allocation. For the travel, Your Honor, hindi po required na banded siya, pero for activities, should be banded with the Bureau of the Treasury. There should be a special order designating special disbursing officer, Your Honor.
So for yung cash advances po natin, that in the yung GAM na sinasabi, this is the standards for accounting of the government, and this would apply generally to other agencies. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your
Would the GAM on the provisions on cash advances, would that also apply to confidential funds?
No, Your Honor.
And why is that po? What is the standard that you use for the for confidential funds?
For the confidential fund, Your Honor, it is covered by the Joint Circular 2015-01.
So, the same joint circular that if you've been following our committee hearings was cited by the ICFAO. Yun yung general basis po nila for confidential funds.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Are there provisions in the government accounting manual that would still suppletorily, in a way, apply to cash advances?
Wala po akong natatandaan, Your Honor.
Wala po.
Only the Joint Circular.
So, there is no requirement that for cash advance for specific purpose or time-bound undertaking, that this should be recorded into the books of accounts as advances to special disbursing officers? Wala po kayong inonote na ganun po?
Can you repeat, Your Honor?
When you were talking of cash advances for specific purpose or a time-bound undertaking, I'm not sure, I'm not an accountant, but I think this is a very specific definition under the GAM. Tama po ba?
Apo.
Yeah, okay. So with that, do you record it in the books of accounts as advances to special disbursing officers?
Tama po, Your Honor.
So there are some provisions in the GAM that would apply. It's not purely in joint circular. Tama po ba this is a procedure that's outlined in the GAM?
Tama po.
So suppletory naman pala po yung GAM, no? Nagagamit rin po siya even for confidential funds.
Possible po, Your Honor. Pero nakapokus po ako sa Joint Circular when it comes to confidential fund.
Okay. But do you recall recording yung advances ito to special disbursing officers? Yes, you do. And the relevant provisions actually for the GAM for confidential funds is Chapter 6, apparently. So the process of the cash advance, pagkatanggap po ng check, ini-encash po ito ng SDO. Tama po ba?
As I recall, Your Honor.
As you recall. In this instance, what is your participation po in the handing over of the check? Do you foresee the encashment? Do you oversee the depositing? Ano po yung inyong interaction with the SDO in relation to this?
Your Honor, ang naging task po ng accounting sa issuance ng cash advance is only for processing. For
Meaning,
processing of disbursement voucher, not for issuance of check.
not for the issuance of the check, but the processing of the disbursement voucher. So ano po yung procedure for the processing of the disbursement voucher?
In the processing of a disbursement voucher for confidential fund, it should be supported by all the required supporting documents as stated or as required in the Joint Circular 2015-01.
Okay. So when you say po, hindi po kayo involved sa issuing of the check, are you somehow involved in the encashment or depositing of the check?
For encashment and depositing of the check, it is the SDO,
The
Your
SDO.
Honor.
So no participation required on your part doon sa SDO. They don't need any clearance from you. They don't need you to sign off on anything. It's purely the responsible of the SDO in line with the provisions of the joint circular. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. With that, are you aware of the procedure? Just on personal knowledge, kapag tinatanggap na po ng SDO, of course, we'd like to ask the SDO himself or herself these questions, but given na wala po sila, we'd like to ask you as Chief Accountant, kasi po, I hope you understand, minsan nalilito rin po kami as not actually practitioners in this field. Marami pong accountants and auditors pala po, no, within one office. But it's understandable na special po in confidential funds. So in relation to confidential funds po, Ms. Villa del Rey, you mentioned that you have no participation in the encashment and no participation in depositing of any sorts. But are you aware of the procedure of the SDO? Ano pong ginagawa po niya pag nakatanggap ng cheque for the confidential funds?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, hindi ko po alam. Bali, ang task ko lang po talaga is to process the issuance of cash advance for
Okay.
the confidential fund.
Sige po. Ms. Villa del Rey, ayon po sa GAM, required pong mag-institute ng internal mechanisms or internal controls ng OVP to safeguard po yung mga cash advances. And I would assume this would also apply to confidential funds. Are you aware of any safeguards that are being implemented for the OVP's confidential funds?
For the regular funds, Your Honor, yes, we have po controls. Like it should be liquidated within 15 days from issuance or upon completion of the activity.
For the regular fund. But for
Regular
confidential
fund.
funds, are you aware of any controls that you might have implemented as chief accountant?
Yes, Your Honor, according to Joint Circular, there should be reportorial requirements like for accounting, the issuance of cash advance is, or upon disbursement of the cash advance, it should be submitted to the audit team, resident auditor, within 7 days from issuance, to Your Honor, including all supporting documents.
Ms. Villa del Rey, when you mentioned resident auditor, you're talking about the resident auditor of the COA? Tama po ba?
Tama po.
Okay. So, do you have any participation in the vetting or authentication or going through the supporting documents ng confidential funds?
Supporting documents, Your Honor, for the issuance of cash advance.
Issuance of cash advance only. Pero for the liquidation, wala na po kayong kinalaman.
Wala na po, Your Honor.
So you would not be involved with the documentary evidence of payment for yung mga acknowledgement receipts, etc., etc.
No, Your Honor, based on joint circular, it should be the responsibility of the special disbursing officer.
And never at any point, even procedurally, dumaan po itong mga SDs or DEPs sa kamay po ninyo. This is directly between the SDO and the resident auditor. Tama po ba?
The DBs of the issuance of cash advance, yun po ang dumaan sa accounting, sa akin. Other DBs na nagkaroon ang disbursement ng confidential fund, hindi po dumaan sa accounting, Your Honor.
By DVs, you mean yung disbursement vouchers po? Tama.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you, as chief accountant, are you required to review a journal entry voucher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this apply for confidential funds?
Yes, Your Honor, upon recording of the issuance of cash advance.
So upon the issuance of cash advance, this is still related to the disbursement voucher lang po.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you review the journal entry voucher, you have to certify it, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So ano po yung nalalaman ng certification na ito?
For the certification of the issuance of cash advance, in the voucher, Your Honor, it is stated that there should be cash available and supporting documents complete and proper.
So when you issue po yung disbursement voucher, is it a requirement, for example? Because I understand yung ating confidential funds is, except for 2022 po, no, which was issued by virtue of yung contingent fund na nilipat, under the GAA po, yung confidential funds natin for 2023. Tama po. Is it a requirement in the subsequent disbursement vouchers that you would have to certify na inubos po yung previous quarter?
Yes, Your Honor, before the issuance of another cash advance.
And how do you verify po na naubos yung previous disbursement voucher, yung previous cash advance?
Sir, for the liquidation of previous cash advance, it is stated in the joint circular and also ito lang po, din po yung naging basis ko, the received transmittal copy of the supporting documents duly stamped by ICPAW.
Okay, so ang procedure po natin is the SDO will submit the liquidation report to the resident auditor, the ICFA will stamp, and then provide it po to you, Mr. Villadere. Is it provided to you by the SDO or by the COA po?
By the SDO, sir.
Si SDO. And when you receive this stamped copy po ng liquidation report, ministerial na lang po yung pag-issue po ninyo ng disbursement voucher for the next quarter. Tama po ba?
Not the liquidation report, Your
Oh,
Honor,
sorry.
only the transmittal. Listing po lahat ng documentary requirements, all reports and certifications submitted to ICPAW.
So, yung listing na po ito, how many pages ang document na ito?
I think, kung tama pa yung pagkaka-recall ko, it's 3 pages po.
So, manipis lang po. So, talagang walang liquidation report, walang AR, walang SD. It's just the letter of transmittal lang po, parang ganun.
Tama po.
Okay. So, in that case po, in relation to the GAM and the joint circular, what is it that you would record in the books as chief accountant? It's really just disbursement to the SDO.
Your Honor, ang recording ko po sa book is the issuance of the cash advance when issued to the SDO and the liquidation of the cash advance upon receipt of the transmittal duly received by ICPAO.
Okay. Ms. Villadel-Rey, as chief accountant, you would confirm that there is a general ledger.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the general ledger, the purpose is to keep a record of all of these. Would that include the supporting documents?
No, Your Honor.
So before you make an entry in the general ledger, do you have to go through the supporting documents?
Only for cash advance, Your Honor.
So for cash advance. In this case po, sa confidential funds, this is one such cash advance po, no? So
Yes.
before you enter it in the general ledger, what documents would you be requiring before you make that entry in the general ledger?
Before entering into to the general ledger, sir, we will the basis of our recording is the report of the checks issued from our cash division and the copy of the disbursement voucher together with the supporting documents.
Okay, checks issued, disbursement voucher, and supporting documents. Can you give us an example ano po yung SDs that are relevant to this entry?
SD
Anong supporting documents po
Supporting
na
documents.
binabanggit po ninyo?
Yes, sir. For the issuance of cash advance, supporting documents required are a special order of the disbursing officer designated by the HOA, approved banding from the BTR, copy of the SARO and NCA, specimen signature of all signatories in DBs and ORS. What else? That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So really, it's related to disbursement lang talaga. Ms. Villadel-Rey, can you, I'm sorry, we're not too familiar, pero can you distinguish yung general and subsidiary ledger?
General ledger, sir, is the basis of the trial balance. Subsidiary ledger pertaining to the individual accounts.
And do you maintain a subsidiary ledger for the confidential funds?
For the SDO, Your Honor.
For the office of the SDO. And ano po yung lalabas po dito sa subsidiary ledger? It's just per check, per
Yes,
entry.
sir. The recording of the cash advance and upon liquidation, also the crediting of the cash advance.
Does the SDO have to report to you for entry into the subsidiary ledger yung different tranches of which that they, whether they encash or deposit the quarterly confidential funds, or isang bagsakan lang po ito sa inyong ledger?
Isang report lang po. Isang report lang from report of checks issued.
Isang report lang po talaga of checks issued. So generally, in that subsidiary ledger for the SDO, ano pa po ang mga entries ninyo aside from dun sa confidential funds? Are there any other transactions or accounts that you have to record that concerns the SDO?
Your Honor, only the date of the check number, the details po, like if it is for the first quarter, second quarter, and the amount only.
So it's a quarterly thing po talaga. I know you answered this earlier, but just to clarify, so ang magre-reflect po sa subsidiary record is yung one-time cash. Hindi po siya daily releases or disbursements.
No,
Who
Your
would have the
Honor.
record of any daily release or disbursement?
Per JC, Your Honor, it is the SDO.
The SDO's responsibility. And I know it's no longer part of your responsibility, but of your personal knowledge, nagpapatulong po ba yung ating SDO sa inyo, ang SDO ng OVP, when it comes to recording things in as per requirement of the joint circular?
No, Your Honor.
So just to clarify, and the process is yung interaction po ninyo with the SDO is purely upon receipt of the request po ba yun, or yung transmittal, you will then certify into the ledger. Sorry, can you repeat again to us? As a summary na lang po, no? Kasi I know chinap-chap na po natin, pero give us a summary of your interactions with yung SDO in particular.
Actually po, wala po akong interaction sa SDO, only the reports. When the disbursement voucher for cash advance is forwarded to accounting, wala po akong interaction sa SDO. When we recorded it in the books of accounts, wala din po. And when we liquidate it, wala din po because only through documents po kami nagbe-base.
Okay, documents na po. Okay, although you don't interact with the SDO particularly, personal knowledge po, in what instances do you interact with their office? Through documents. So this is purely for confidential funds only. Walang ibang entry, walang ibang transaction that would require documentation or certification on your part po.
For the liquidation, Your Honor, I signed the liquidation report.
Oh, you signed the liquidation report. And what is the purpose of your signature po sa liquidation report?
For the liquidation report, Your Honor, I certify that all supporting documents in the issuance of cash advance are proper and complete. Also in the transmittal forwarded, sir.
I understand po earlier you mentioned na as far as you're concerned with the general and subsidiary ledgers of the OVP, wala po kayong hindi po dumadaan po sa inyo yung acknowledgement receipts, documentary evidence of payment, and other supporting documents. Sabi niyo po yun earlier, tama po ba?
Tama po.
But now you're saying po na in the liquidation report, you certify that you have reviewed all of these supporting documents.
The supporting documents, sir, that I mentioned is all supporting documents attached to the issuance of cash advance.
But you mentioned you signed yung liquidation report itself.
Only the liquidation report as annexed in the joint circular, Your Honor.
So yung liquidation report as annexed in the joint circular, and
Yes.
what you are certifying there is that you've gone through all of the supporting documents. Tama po ba? So would this not include yung ating acknowledgement receipts and documentary evidence of payment?
Sir, in the JC, hindi po included sa responsibilities ng accountant ang review of the documents evidencing payments.
So, sorry, I hope you can forgive the confusion, no? Kasi earlier you mentioned when you go through the supporting documents and other, yung mga supporting documents lang, you were talking about for signing of the disbursement voucher to release the check po, no?
The
But-
cash advance.
The cash advance. But in this case of the liquidation report, this is already post-disbursement, tama po ba? The liquidation report is already talking about the quarter that has lapsed. So you are signing on supporting documents there. What supporting documents po are you certifying in that case?
Sir, the supporting documents of the liquidation, not necessarily po yung documents evidencing payments. It is under the responsibility only of the special disbursing officer, and the audit of this is through ICPAO.
No, I understand po what you're saying is that it's not necessarily your responsibility, but you do have a certification there that you have gone through all the supporting documents. So how do we distinguish which supporting documents are verified or certified or prepared by the SDO and which supporting documents are verified or prepared by the chief accountant? Could you please clarify to us po, which particular supporting documents are you certifying?
Yes, the supporting documents I certified po as complete and proper is the supporting documents also to be submitted sa ICPAO, which is also the attached documents of the cash advance.
But the acknowledgement receipts and DEPs are also submitted to the ICFAO, is that correct?
Yes, sir, but it is through a sealed envelope signed by the SDO.
Okay, so the documents that are not sealed in which you certify would be specifically, could you enumerate for us po? Sorry?
Yes, sir. The special order,
Special order.
the same attachment of the cash advance, special order, the approved banding, specimen signatures of all the signatories, the copy of the SBR, the physical and financial plan of the confidential plan.
Okay,
That's I can remember, Your Honor.
thank you. Of course, marami po yan. So, Ms. Villadere, you mentioned that this is the same SDs that are in the disbursement voucher.
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung ano po yung sinertify and sinubmit niyo for the disbursement voucher prior to the cash advance, yun rin po that is what you're referring to po na ina-attach ulit sa liquidation report submitting to the ICFAO. That is what you are certifying to.
Yes, Your
Although the
Honor.
terms in the certification are all documents, you are testifying now that it's only in relation to these particular documents that you have mentioned. Tama po.
Tama po.
Thank you po for the clarification, Ms. Villa Del Rey. Mr. Chair, if I would still have some time, I'd like to ask just a few preliminary questions to Attorney Sanchez.
Yes, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Attorney Sanchez, kayo po ay dinesignate bilang officer in charge, Chief of Staff of the OVP na inaprobuhan ni VP. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, may I know the period covered, Mr. Chair?
I'm just referring to the Office Order number 2024-56. But if you'd like to testify about any period, you are free to answer. Hindi naman po to yes or no.
Mr. Chair, there are different periods, if I recall, that I was assigned as the OIC of the Office of the Chief of Staff here.
In which
Mr.
case
Chair.
po, can you please relate to this committee what time periods po kayo ay naging OIC? And if you can confirm that OIC pa rin po kayo ngayon.
Mr. Chair, I cannot recall the specific periods, Mr. Chair, but I can trace the office orders or special orders designating me as the OIC, Mr. Chair.
Could you give us at least a ballpark, not figure, a ballpark duration? Which months po kayo naging Chief of OIC? And I'm sure if natapos po yung inyong pagiging OIC, that means may na-appoint na actual Chief of Staff. And then naging OIC naman po kayo. Am I understanding your story correctly?
No, Mr. Chair. I would just like to clarify that I am only appointed as the OIC for the Office of the Chief of Staff whenever the Chief of Staff and the Assistant Chief of Staff are not available in the office, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's a temporary thing.
Yes,
Hindi
Your
naman po
Honor.
siya yung dahil wala pa yung Chief of Staff.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ang sabi po sa Office Order 2024-56 is mayroong travel ang Chief of Staff na si Attorney Zulaika Lopez at Assistant Chief of Staff na si Lemuel Ortonio on October 18, 2024. So let's zero in on this one time. Do you recall this? This order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you relate to us ano po yung official travel ni Attorney Lopez and the Assistant Chief of Staff Ortonio?
Your Honor, from what I recall, they had to travel to Davao, Your Honor.
To Davao. And would you
Yes.
recall the duration of this?
I do not recall, Your Honor. I can trace the travel order, Your Honor, and provide this committee with it, Your Honor.
Okay. One last preliminary question. Bilang OIC, would you say you're relatively capable or familiar with the office of at least of the Chief of Staff?
Your Honor, as OIC, I only perform functions which are specifically designated to me, Your Honor. So I still am able to get direct instructions from the Chief of Staff even during the period that she is not in the office, Your Honor.
Even when she is abroad?
Yes, Your Honor.
One more question. Bilang, sorry, can you clarify, masyadong maliit yung name tag. You are director for what department?
For Administrative and Financial Services Office, Your Honor.
Okay. Financial services, do you have any interactions or any role in the disbursement of yung confidential funds?
Your Honor, my participation in the disbursement of confidential funds is just limited as one of the signatories of the checks for the cash advance, Your Honor.
So checks for the cash advance which are being verified by Ms. Villa Del Rey for disbursement lang.
Yes,
So
Your
you
Honor.
have no participation in yung tranches. For example, yung for 2022 of December, 125 million. Kay Ms. Villa Del Rey, they will only record it as one whole 125 million. But as Director for Finance, would you have any knowledge as to the breakdown of that 125 million and live kung kailan to dinidisburse?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I have no personal knowledge on that matter.
Okay. Thank you very much, Attorney Sanchez. Mr. Chair, I'll now
Your Honor.
yield the floor to other interpolators. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman Gutierrez. The next interpolator is Congresswoman Pami Zamora. You are now recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'd like to direct my questions kay Ma'am, tama ba, Julieta? Paano po i-pronounce?
Julieta Villa del Rey.
Hi, Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey. Ma'am, binanggit mo na po kay Congressman Gutierrez na kayo po ang Chief Accountant under the OVP. Bilang Chief Accountant po, to whom are you directly under po? Kumbaga, sino po ang inyong immediate and direct supervisor?
Under the Director of APSO po, Your Honor, Administrative and Financial Services Office.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Mahina po ang pandinig ko. Pakiulit po.
Under the Director of Administrative and Financial Services Office.
Okay. And bilang sa ilalim ka po nitong binanggit nyo, under ka ng Director for Administrative and Financial Services Office. Wait lang, ma'am. Can you confirm if this is the correct organizational chart of the OVP? Kung saan ka nabibilang?
Tama po, under the Director of APSO.
And tama po ba, ma'am, yung Director for Administrative and Financial Services ay yung katabi niyo po ngayon, si Ma'am Rosalyn L. Sanchez?
Tama po.
Okay. And ang on top of all of this ay ang Chief of Staff na si Miss Zulaika T. Lopez. Tama po?
Tama.
All right. Ma'am, bilang Chief Accountant, dumadaan po ba sa opisina ninyo yung mga pondo na pumapasok sa OVP?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. For the last quarter of 2022, ma'am, maaalala niyo po ba yung cheque na pumasok sa OVP? Last quarter of 2022.
Cheque.
Apo.
Wala po
Ako na pong magpapaalala, ma'am. Ito po. 125 million po. Tama po ba? Pakibasa po. Tama po ba ang pagkakabasa ko na 125 million po siya?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay.
Pero, Your Honor, as I said earlier, hindi po dumadaan sa amin ang check payment. Only the processing of disbursement voucher.
Opo. Opo, ma'am. Darating tayo dyan. So, ang tanong ko, ma'am, ang tanong ko, ma'am, kasi inunahan ako ni ma'am. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, sabi mo, processing lang of disbursement vouchers. Ang tanong ko ngayon, in any way, are you notified ba kapag may cheque na? Kasi sinabi mo kanina kay Kong Rog, assured dapat na may fund na or allocated budget for it. So, paano mo nasasabi yon? So, in a way, nanonotify ka na may cheque na.
Only sa report, Your Honor, report of checks issued.
Sa report mo lang natatanggap. Yun po ba?
Tama po.
So, hindi mo po masasabi sa akin, ma'am, kung ang checking ito ay, kung anong pinagdaanan po ng cheque na ito, kung ito po ba ay in-encash, dineposit.
No, Your Honor.
Is there anybody here who can answer? Kung ano pong pinagdaanan ng cheque na ito? All right. Can we go to the next slide? Meron po akong ipapakita ulit. Ma'am, magkano po yung nakasulat sa cheque na ito for the first quarter of 2023?
125 million, Your Honor.
125 million. And again, bilang Chief Accountant, sinasabi mo po kanina kay Congressman Gutierrez na hindi po dumadaan sa inyo to. At again, processing lang ng disbursement vouchers ang trabaho niyo po. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
All right. At wala po sa ating kahit sino ditong makakasagot kung papaano po lumabas ang cheque na ito. Okay. Can we go to the next check, please? Oo. Ito naman, ma'am. Ay. For the next check, again, of 125 million, kay Ma'am Villa del Rey, again, so, hindi po ito again dumaan sa inyo.
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am Rosalyn Sanchez, ikaw po nakikita ko po, nagulat po ako, ikaw po ang nakapirma dito. Naaalala niyo po bang pinirmahan niyo po ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pati pala yung first check, tinanong kita kanina, hindi mo naaalala. Okay, so anong nangyari sa cheque na ito, ma'am? Ma'am Rosalyn Sanchez.
Ma'am, may I just be, Your Honor, may I be clarified? When I mentioned to Congressman Gutierrez earlier that I am the signatory. My participation for confidential
So
funds
you
is a
signed the check and then
signatory
you
for
don't know what
checks.
happened next?
Yes,
Is
Your
that what
Honor.
you're saying? All right, I'll take that answer. Okay. Mabalik ako kay Ma'am Villa Del Rey. Ma'am Villa Del Rey, as the Chief Accountant ng OVP mula early on, nakailang Vice President ka na po, sinabi niyo po sa amin. Particular po kayo siguro talaga. In fact, nabanggit niyo kanina dun sa Joint Circular ng 2015. Tama po ba?
Tama po.
And you are very much aware of your responsibilities as agency accountant under the joint circular, particularly under section 6.3.3.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Sa joint circular, ma'am, merong guidelines on the grant and liquidation of cash advance for confidential funds. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Kinukumpirma mo kanina, ma'am, na ayon sa kaalaman mo, na kahit na hindi sa'yo dumaan ang tseke, di ba? Paulit-ulit mo pong sinabi, pero kinukumpirma mo pa rin na nakatanggap ng 125 million na confidential funds 4 times ang OVP. Tama po?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Okay. Ma'am Villa Del Rey, aware ka naman po na kahit hindi po ikaw ang SDO, na liable ka pa rin po bilang Chief Accountant ng OVP. Kung sakaling mapatunayan na nagkaroon ng misuse ng confidential funds ang OVP. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor, depending on the participation.
Under, kasi ma'am dun sa joint circular, yung liability mo ay katumbas ng liability ng SDO. Tama po ba yun, ma'am?
Tama po, as mentioned, depending on my participation.
Opo, kaso kanina tinatanong ka po ni Congressman Gutierrez, nung nagpirma ka po sa liquidation report, hindi naman po nakasulat doon na ito po ang pirma niyo, certified, supporting documents complete and proper. Yun po ang pinirmahan ninyo, ma'am. Tanong lang naman po yun. Under po ng joint circular, again, isa ka talaga dun sa 3 signatory. Ikaw po, yung SDO na si Ma'am Gina Acosta at ang Vice President. And dahil po sinacertify mo ang mga dokumento na isinumite at ay kumpleto, sapat bilang Chief Accountant, ikaw ay naging isang accountable officer. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Dahil po ma'am sa pagpirma mo sa receipt of payment, ikaw ay naging accountable sa custody at pag-safekeep ng mga funds na ito. Tama po ba, ma'am?
No, Your Honor. Hindi po ako nag-safekeep ng fund. Only the processing of the issuance of cash advance and recording of its liquidation.
Alright. Familiar ka po ba, Ma'am Villa Del Rey, sa Presidential Decree number 1445 or the Government Auditing Code?
Yes, Your Honor. PD 1445.
Sa mga hindi po familiar dito, we will flash it. Under Section 103, it says General Liability for Unlawful Expenditures. Expenditures of government funds or uses of government property in violation of law or regulations shall be a personal liability of the official or employee found to be directly responsible therefore. In Section 105, it talks about the measure of liability of accountable officers. Binanggit niyo po kanina, kayo po ay isang accountable officer. It states, every officer accountable for government property shall be liable for its money value in case of improper or unauthorized use or misapplication thereof by himself or any person for whose acts he may be responsible. We shall likewise be liable for all losses, damages, or deterioration occasioned by negligence in the keeping or use of the property, whether or not it be at the time in his actual custody. Every officer accountable for government funds shall be liable for all losses resulting from the unlawful deposit, use, or application thereof, and for all losses attributable to negligence in the keeping of the funds. Ibig sabihin ng mga provisions na ito ng PD 1445, personal liability ng accountable officers ang unlawful use or application of government funds or any loss attributable to the accountable officer's negligence in keeping the funds. Sumasang-ayon ka po ba dito, Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey?
Your Honor, may I reiterate lang po na hindi po ako nag-handle ng cash and my participation in the confidential fund is only in the issuance of it, the processing of the disbursement voucher, checking of all the supporting documents attached to the issuance of cash advance.
Ma'am, if wala po kayong interaction sa SDO, hindi niyo po ba nakikita ang SDO na nagre-receive ng check ng subject of the disbursement voucher?
No, Your Honor.
Sino po ang nagre-release ng check sa SDO?
Cash Division, Your Honor.
Cash Division. Sino naman po, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, since pinirmahan niyo po lahat po ng liquidation reports na meron po ako dito, sino po ang nag-aabot sa inyo ng liquidation report for your signature?
It was routed po to our office.
It was routed. What is this process?
It
So
was
it's like,
yes, it was routed po from office of the VP.
from office of the VP.
To
Sino
account-
pong nagdadala nun, ma'am? Was it a messenger?
Liaison officer, Your Honor.
Who is this liaison officer?
I don't have idea, Your Honor, since hindi it was only handed to me by my staff in a folder or in an envelope with marked confidential.
It's such a big deal. So, inaabot-abot lang po pala yung ganitong papel. Okay. So, ma'am, kayo po, hindi po kayo sumasang-ayon dun sa provisions ng PD 1445. Kahit na po kanina, binanggit niyo po na you agree that you are the AO or the accountable officer.
Yes, Your Honor, I am accountable officer only in the issuance of cash advance.
Hindi po ba ganun din po yun? Okay. Sa ngayon, ma'am, ako tatanungin ko pa rin po to. Bilang accountable officer po nung mga pinakita ko pong cheque nung 2022 at 2023, would you agree that any unlawful use of these funds would be your personal liability?
Based on the joint circular, Your Honor, but
So yes.
yes, depende po sa participation ko as chief accountant.
Oo, nag-yes ka na. Ma'am, dahil po pinirmahan mo po bilang chief accountant ng OVP ang mga disbursement voucher at liquidation reports, may presumption naman po talaga tayo of regularity and that everything is above board. Di ba po?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Pero bakit kaya ma'am, base sa mga testimony nung nakaraang hearing, nalaman ng publiko, nalaman din namin dito, na bukod sa unreasonable at hindi makatarungan ang paggastos ng mga funds na ito, ay hindi din properly substantiated or supported ng dokumento, katulad na lamang po ng mga disbursement vouchers na sinertify mo po.
Ang disbursement voucher, Your Honor, na sinertify ko is for the issuance of cash advance. It was all submitted for post-audit to the resident auditor of COA. And as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor, wala pong naging AOM ang issuance ng cash advance.
All right. Mr. Chair, we can confirm, no, bilang yung chief accountant na si Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey, kahit po she devoids herself of responsibility dun sa cheque, hanggang dun lang siya sa disbursement voucher, nandun talaga siya. We can confirm that she is part of the process ng naging paggastos at liquidation ng confidential funds ng OVP. And as we continue our deliberations, Mr. Chair, on the issue, I hope that Ms. Villa del Rey will continue to be very diligent in cooperating with the committee para po mas mabigyang linaw ang ating mga katanungan. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, and I yield to the next interpolator.
Thank you, Congresswoman Zamora. The Chair would like to recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker, J.J. Suarez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Magandang tanghali po, Ma'am Julieta Villa del Rey.
Magandang tanghali po.
Ma'am, gaano katagal na po kayo naglilingkod sa ating pamahalaan?
I started, Your Honor, 1990, about 34 years already.
34 years. Tama po ba rinig ko? 34 years.
Tama po.
So you've been committed to public service for a great part of your life. And you've been assigned to the Office of the Vice President only, or have you transferred to other offices?
To Accounting Division, Your Honor, of the Office of the Vice President.
Doon lang.
Doon lang po.
So doon kayo nag-umpisa at hanggang ngayon, nandun
Tama po.
pa rin po kayo.
Tama po.
So, ma'am, nabanggit nyo simula nung panahon ni Laurel, nandun na po kayo?
Yes, Your Honor. Last 2 years po ni VP Laurel.
Okay. So sa maraming vice presidents na pinaglingkuran po ninyo, ngayon lang po nagkaroon ang Office of the Vice President ng malaking halaga para sa confidential funds. Tama po ba ito?
As I recall, Your Honor, tama po.
So never in the past has a vice president received this large amount of confidential funds.
Not at this amount, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Now, Ms. Villa del Rey, kanina nababanggit po yung halagang 125 million na natanggap nung fourth quarter of 2022, first quarter of 2023, second quarter of 2023, third quarter of 2023. Tama. So, kung di po ako nagkakamali, that's 4 na cheque.
Tama po.
Yung 4 na cheque pong yun ay aabot ng 500 million pesos. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po.
Okay. Ma'am, matanong ko lang bago ako tumulak sa susunod kong mga tanong. Sa nakalipas na mga hearings namin, kayo po ay pinadadalhan po namin ng imbitasyon.
Tama po.
Bakit kayo lang po kayo nag-desisyon na dumalo?
Sir, as I mentioned po sa aking statement, the first invitation nakasama ako, I was only from September 23 to October 14. And then, for the second invitation po, nakasama rin ako because of the matagal kong absence is marami po akong backlog. So, I have to attend to many tasks, Your Honor.
Kaso lang alam niyo naman po yung kahalagahan ng mga pandinig na ito, bakit hindi niyo po binigyan ng sapat na importansya para po makadalo sa Committee ng Good Government?
Sir, that is the reason po na nag-attend kami ngayon.
but after receiving a subpoena.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I think, ma'am, sa 34 years niyo na pong paglilingkod, hindi na dapat maabot sa subpoena, dapat on mere invitation pa lang nakakadalo na po kayo. Dahil sa totoo lang, hindi naman siguro dapat tumagal ng ilang hearing kami dito kung dumadalo po yung mga resource persons namin. Given that career official pa po kayo, 34 years binanggit ninyo. Ngayon ma'am, patungkol po dun sa confidential funds, before you issue another check, documents have to be submitted to your office with regards to how this was utilized and how it was liquidated, correct?
No, Your Honor. Ang basis lang po ng liquidation sa books of accounts is the received transmittal letter from ICPAO.
Hindi, kunyari, humingi sila ng 120, nag-release kayo ng cheque ng 125, di ba? For 125 ng fourth quarter of 2022. For you to issue another disbursement document, they have to submit the necessary requirements as to how the previous 125 was utilized, correct?
Hindi po. Ang basis po ng liquidation, once receive ang transmittal letter, duly stamp received by ICPAO, yun po yung time na iti-take up ko ang liquidation sa books of accounts. So, liquidated po yung cash advance. Upon request of the next issuance of cash advance, I will issue po certificate of unliquidated cash advance for the STO.
Okay, kasi tulad po kasi nung nabanggit ni Congresswoman Zamora, nakasulat po kasi dito, supporting documents are complete and proper. At naka-affix po yung signature nyo dito.
Yes, Your Honor, that is pertaining to the supporting documents for the issuance of cash advance.
Yeah. So when it comes to the supporting documents, can you just enlighten me and educate me? What are these supporting documents that need to be complete and proper before you issue another cash advance?
For the issuance of cash advance, Your Honor, the disbursement voucher and the ORS should be supported with special order of the designated SDO, the approved banding from the BTR, the physical and financial plan of the fund, the specimen signature of all the disbursing officers of the ORS and DB, the SBR or the copy of the GAA, and the notice of cash allocation, Your Honor. If it is a succeeding cash advance, it should be supported with certification of no unliquidated cash advance of the SDO.
At lahat po ito natatanggap ninyo?
Yes, Your Honor.
At bago po kayo mag-issue ng disbursement, dapat tinitiyak nyo na kumpleto lahat?
Tama po.
At hinihimay nyo lahat ng mga dokumento, lahat ng mga papeles, lahat ng mga pinadadala sa inyo?
Tama po.
Sino po nagpapadala sa inyo ng mga dokumentong ito?
Nanggagaling po ang mga documents routed from Office of the BP.
Saan po galing?
Office of the BP po.
Galing sa Office of the Vice President. Sino po ang nagdadala sa inyo ng mga dokumentong ito?
It was routed po through administrative officer.
And who is this administrative officer?
Hindi ko po kilala since tinatanggap din po siya ng AO ng Accounting Division. And once received in the Accounting Division, ira-route po ito sa table ko.
So, hindi nyo po kilala yung nagpapadala ng mga dokumentong ito sa inyo?
It's only through AO po, administrative officer.
So, who is this administrative officer?
Sir, hindi po ako nakapag-interact sa administrative officer since ang documents is in-hand, pino-forward lang sa akin ng accounting staff mismo.
Hindi, kaso lang considerable yung amount, ma'am eh. Ang laki. At dahil nga nabanggit din na, administratively and for whatever cases that may be filed or be seen na may liability, kasama po kayo sa mga liable. So I would assume that a certain level of consciousness on your part when it comes to the documents being submitted to you will be exercised. especially in the manner of who is submitting to you those documents?
Yes, Your Honor. It was routed through a sealed envelope or in a folder with marked confidential on it,
At sino
sir.
po ang nagpapadala sa inyo nito?
Sa Office of the BP po.
Sino would the OIC COS be able to verify who this administrative officer is?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I cannot identify the specific administrative officer, as we have several administrative officers in
No, but
the
okay,
office,
so
Your
but
Honor.
you may have several. How many administrative officers do you have? 20? 30?
I will,
50?
yes, I will check, Your Honor, but
No, I mean, ma'am.
it's more than 10 administrative officers
Okay,
or
so you have
staff
10
in the-
administrative officers. How many administrative officers do you have tasked to handle confidential funds?
I have no personal
But you're
knowledge, Your Honor.
the chief of staff. You should know.
Your Honor, I was only the OIC.
Before
of the Office
acting
of the
as
Chief of
OIC, what was the position that you held in the office of the Vice President?
I am the Director for Administrative and Financial
So
Services.
therefore, as
Office, Your
Director
Honor.
for Administrative and Financial, you would know who the administrative officer is in handling the confidential funds. I mean, it's a big fund. And it's very delicate in its nature, that proper care would have to be given to it and attention. So dapat trusted at maasahan ninyo, kasi kung magkaroon ng bulilyaso sa pag-handle ng pondong ito, malaking halaga po ang pinag-uusapan natin. You're talking about 125 million pesos per quarter. That's 500 million. So who is the administrative officer that you have tasked from the Office of the Vice President to submit these documents to your chief accountant?
Your Honor, again, I apologize, but I am really not privy to that information, Your Honor.
Will you be kind enough to find out?
I will try, Your Honor. I will check, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. So, Ma'am Julieta Del Rey, matanong ko lang wag naman po sana kayo masasaktan. Kayo ay 34 years na sa Office of the Vice President. Nasusundan niyo po ba yung mga hearings namin dito?
May mga hearings po akong napapanood, Your Honor.
Yeah. Okay. So siguro nakita niyo rin naman yung ilan sa mga red flags at inconsistencies na napansin po ng committee pagdating po sa mga acknowledgement receipts na naisubmit. Hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
At ilan din po sa mga lumitaw na mga issues patungkol po sa confidential funds other than the acknowledgement receipts ay yung mga questionable utilization niya. Hindi po ba?
Tama po.
Aware din po kayo. Ma'am, would you say or to a certain extent be able to determine pagdating po ba sa management ng Office of the Vice President, the same level and style of management was exercised during the time the Vice President was Secretary of Education?
Again, Your Honor.
Yung management style po, yung pagpapatakbo ng opisina, magkaparehas po ba yung estilo ng pagmamanage na ipinakita ni Vice President Sara sa Office of the Vice President at pati po sa bilang Secretary ng Department of Education?
Hindi po ako aware kung paano minamanage ni BP ang Deped, but I am under the Office of the Director of Admin and Finance,
So hindi kayo masyadong aware. What about
No,
you,
sir.
Attorney Sanchez? Was it the same management style? Was she strict? Was she on time? Was she diligent? How would you say? Was it the same?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I cannot compare because I do not have personal knowledge on how she is managing Deped.
Okay. So thank you very much. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I have no further questions. I just wanted to answer some get some answers from Ma'am Villa Del Rey. Salamat po, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ay, pahabol lang. Sorry, Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
please continue.
Ma'am Del Rey, so sinabi nyo kanina na susundan nyo yung mga hearings natin, hindi po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
At career official din po kayo. At nag-oath po kayo kanina. Oo, nangako po kayo na hindi po kayo magsisinungaling. Ma'am, kayo po ba yung nakakatanggap ng mga envelopes
Envelopes po na
na may laman na pera sa loob?
No, Your Honor.
Wala.
No, Your Honor.
Kasi sa Deped may ganun eh. May parang payola silang ibinibigay sa mga pumipirma ng mga dokumento. Sa inyo po,
Wala po, Your Honor.
wala po kayo natanggap?
Wala po.
Ever since? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. The next interpellator is Congressman Valeriano.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pwede po kay Miss Villa Del Rey ulit. Ma'am, pagod ka na ba, ma'am? Di pa. Kaya pa?
Kaya po, sir.
Gutom na po kayo?
Hindi po.
Okay lang. Kanina po, nasabi nyo, matagal na kayo sa OBP. Tama po?
Tama po.
Since 1990.
Tama po.
So, halos 3 dekada na po yun, ano?
Tama po.
You were part of the staff of the Vice President Leni Robredo.
Tama
Noong
po.
nakaraan. Tama po?
Tama po.
And under VP Robredo, you were, of course, involved in the preparation of the budget of the OBP for the fiscal year 2022. Yan po yung bago mag-eleksyon. Tama po?
Tama po.
As part of the finance accounting, you are aware of the contents of the budget of the OBP. Tama? Tandaan niyo po, including